Hey players, welcome to Double D, the Black Your News, where I'm black and the news is always petty as hell but accurate. I know my there is a delay, however, comma, let's go ahead and put this over my face so it doesn't bother y'all too much, honey, because ain't nobody got time for these shenanigans. This is ridiculous, damn ridiculous that I'm having to deal with this, but hey, it is what it is. I wanted to come on here and talk. So let's get to talking, honey, because there is a lot that is going on. Well, not a lot. I wouldn't say there's a lot going on because I am just going to talk about two topics tonight. Just two topics, maybe three. I just wanted to go over the latest regarding the murder of Takeoff and then also go over everything that is going on with the attack on Paul Pelosi. There was a lot of shenanigans that were going on in relation to the attack on Paul Pelosi over the weekend. Actually, since it came down, there was a lot of shenanigans in relation to that. So I kind of wanted to talk about it and just give you guys everything I got. And I can't do all of that in a 3-minute video. So I decided to go ahead and come on here. So first up, we're going to talk about the tragedy that occurred with Migos rapper Takeoff last night in Houston, Texas. I am so sad and so devastated to hear about what happened to him. Apparently, from what we know at this point, he was at a bowling alley in at a private party. He and a friend, he and several people were there. One of the members of the group Migos was actually there with him. Quavo, they were both there together. And the party ended at 1 o'clock, according to the chief of police, Houston's chief of police. And it actually, the party spilled over into outside of the bowling alley. People were there. People were they were out there conversing. Now, at first we heard that this was a dice game gone wrong, is what we heard. However, we're finding out now that it may not be a dice game at all. So around 2:30 in the morning. Hello, everybody. I can speak to y'all because I'm not recording a podcast. Hi, Andrea. Hi, artists. How y'all doing? Come on in and have a seat. Okay, so from what I understand of it, is there was some type of altercation. At least we know there was some type of argument taking place. We don't really know exactly what the argument was about, but we do know that there was an argument that took place and someone or some people pulled out weapons and began shooting. Um, uh, Unfortunately, Takeoff was shot. It looked like from the video that was circulating on social media that he was hit in the head, and then two other people were shot, but they were able to go to the hospital and they suffered none life-threatening injuries. They actually left and went in a private vehicle. So I'm going to play you all what the chief of police stated today regarding this, and then I'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about it.
Approximately 2:34 a.m., officers received a call of a shooting in progress. Officers arrived there shortly thereafter. The location is in a downtown location, the billiards bowling alley located at 1201 San Jacinto Street here in the downtown area. Once officers arrived, they came upon a male who was deceased. That male has been identified as Kersnick Ball, better known as Takeoff. He's a member of the Migos rap group out of Atlanta. And I want to pause again because sometimes the hip-hop community gets a bad name. And I know, and evident from this city and people who I have a personal relationship, a lot of great people in our hip-hop community. And I respect them. But back to Takeoff. I got many calls from Houston and outside of Houston, and everyone spoke of what a great young man this is, how peaceful he is, what a great artist.
On the third level, just outside the front door. We were also informed that two other individuals had reported themselves by personal vehicle to local area hospitals on their own, both of them with non-life-threatening injuries, but a 23-year-old male and a 24-year-old female. Like I said, both of them are going to be okay, and we have spoken and gotten information from them to help us in this investigation.
All right. So that is what they're saying. They are asking for um any information. Apparently, a lot of the people that were there fled the scene after the shots broke out. Of course, we know that's what people do. Whenever shots rang out, they a lot fled the scene. They left, so they weren't able to get any statements from them. But they did get statements from the two people that were in the hospital, and I'm pretty sure they interviewed some people on the scene. So unfortunately, Takeoff was pronounced deceased at the scene. There is a terrible video that is circulating all around social media shortly after the incident occurred. The shooting occurred. He was on the ground. I could not, with good conscience, post that video because I was just thinking about the families and how they may have possibly felt, because his mother, for what the chief of police stated, had to fly there. So I can only imagine what that would have been like. So I decided not to post that video in the scene after. It was just too heartbreaking. But to describe what it was, you know, Quavo was there, and people were around, and they were trying to get people to help. That's basically what it was on that video. So uh again, Takeoff's mother did fly into Houston. The chief of police said he spoke with her, and they are definitely trying to solve this case. And they said there's way too many witnesses for them not to solve this case. And I'm going to have to agree with that 100%. Hopefully, they can solve this case really quickly. So after this happened, of course, a lot of people are there's a lot of internet speculation on what is going on. Like I told you before, people were saying that this was possibly over a dice game, that Takeoff and Quavo, or possibly just Quavo alone, because I've heard it two different ways. Were playing dice, and apparently they were losing. Now I heard an actual dollar amount, and I'm going to say alleged because these are all alleged. These are alleged things that people are saying. The streets are humming, so I'm just going to tell you what the streets said. And then at first it was a dice game. It was that Quavo was losing the dice game, and Takeoff came up to help, and then that's why the person broke out shooting. And then there was also the speculation that Quavo was not that they both were playing dice, and that they were both losing. And I heard the dollar amount was around $7,000. But early this morning on Twitter, this young lady took to Twitter and said that she was there. This is around 5:45 in the morning. She said she's going to speak on this. I feel like I got to. I was there right next to Takeoff. They wasn't arguing about shooting dice. Quavo was pressed, and Takeoff was hit by stray bullets shot for no reason. R.I.P. Takeoff. He didn't deserve that. He was to himself the whole night. So then she subsequently posted a photo of the back. If you can see there, I know it's kind of small, but she posted the back of Takeoff there as they were around that crowd. That was something that she posted at 5:45 this morning. People were saying, some people were saying she was capping, but a lot of people was looking at her evidence. She actually showed a photo of herself in the bathroom that night, and also she had that photo of the back of him. And then on this tweet, she actually wrote out like a text message or some sort of what happened. What she's saying is happened. And she said shots just started ringing, but they was coming from somebody Migos was with, but he was shooting wild and hit Takeoff on accident, and the other N-word started shooting back, and I think he got hit again, but ultimately his own N words. Now this is a text message, so I don't know if this is her words or somebody text this to her, but she said, I think he got hit again, but ultimately it was his own N words killed him, because when he got hit the first time, I seen his body drop. Quavo was plexed up over some small is It really wasn't worth it. Takeoff was the coolest, quietest N-word in the room the whole time. He wasn't saying a word, just chilling in the cut. He didn't even know what was going on. He just jumped up and got shot out of nowhere. Houston for sure about to be no fly zone because mob's supposed to be protecting these artists. So that's what the text message that you see there that went along with this message here. Now I don't know if someone texted into her or if she was I don't know, but either way, that's what she was saying. And then tonight, TMZ broke a video. Now I'm gonna stop this video a little bit early, but there is a video here that shows leading up to the actual shooting. So let me play that for you all, and then we'll talk about it. And I know Double D got it. Let me pull up my glasses. Okay, there you go. Hold on, look. Listen, man. They know y'all, but they're not going to be disrespectful like they want it. Basketball, bro. You just play basketball. You just saw me play basketball. Y'all niggas just in the gym. Play like that, bro. Don't play like that, bro. Hey, let go. I ain't finna sit. All right. So that was right before the shots rang out. You could hear Quavo say something there about basketball. This is a video that, as you saw, came from TMZ, and say something about basketball. So it kind of aligns with what this girl was saying, that it wasn't over no dice game. There was another part, and I forgot to put this in the thing. I'm gonna take this picture off so y'all can see really quickly. Y'all, give me 1 second, and I'll show you the text message on the screen because I forgot to load it into the system. Okay. Y'all ain't gonna be able to see it. Oh, I'm way up here. I'm sorry. I forgot my camera's up there now. Can y'all see that? It's kind of blurry. My camera can't focus. I'm sorry, but it says they wasn't arguing about no bet. They wasn't they was arguing about fighting and basketball, is what the girl said. So, child, I don't know. There were some people in the comments, some sentiments in the comments here. One person said that they wasn't shooting no dice. That's something that I've heard. I'm only giving you what the streets were saying, so don't get angry with me. And you think they're gonna be tripping over 7K. Look, not me. I'm just telling you what the streets are saying, sweetheart. I'm not saying that. 7K and allegedly a Migos chain. This is what this person says. When will black men stop killing each other, honey? When will we all stop killing each other? Not just black men. But I understand what you're trying to say there, Tanita. Regina says this is so sad. I'm gonna have to agree with that. And then up here, Miss Reva says, my deepest and heartfelt sympathy to his family and friends. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we don't know. I'm pretty sure more information will come out as the days go on, but that is all the information that we have as of right now, you guys. And I'll definitely be watching this and keeping you guys updated as much as I can with the latest information. All right, players, let's move on because I want to get to Paul Pelosi, and I promised I wasn't gonna be here long. I ain't gonna hold y'all, okay? So we gonna move on to the next part. All right. So as we know, Paul Pelosi, there was a situation here that occurred with over the weekend with Paul Pelosi. I'm telling Friday morning, it spiraled out of control. But excuse me, not Friday morning. Was it Saturday morning? Either way, the situation spiraled out of control over the weekend because of a tweet by Elon Musk. If y'all watched my video when I talked about and debunked that stupid article that was posted by the Santa Monica Chronicle regarding the Paul Pelosi, the attack on Paul Pelosi, I just think it's absolutely disgusting that they would do something like this. And this has pretty much been the sentiments throughout the Republican Party. President Biden actually ripped their ass a new one today. about this situation, saying that it was completely absurd that they're making jokes about an 82-year-old man being attacked. And I'm going to have to concur with that sentiment 100%. So I'm going to give you a brief synopsis of what happened. Paul Pelosi was attacked in his home. This man, David DePap, he broke into the home and around 2 o'clock in the morning, broke in through the back door of the San Francisco home. It was in the Pacific Heights neighborhood of San Francisco. He broke in through the window, and I guess I gotta say allegedly because he hadn't been convicted. Excuse me. Allegedly broke in through the window and came in, saw Paul Pelosi in his bed, came upstairs, saw Paul Pelosi in his bed, told him to get up and ask for Nancy Pelosi. This is according to the criminal affidavit that was filed by the San Francisco district attorney. Okay. Asked Paul Pelosi where Nancy Pelosi was, said that she wasn't home, and he said that he was going to wait for Nancy Pelosi. They ended up coming downstairs, and Paul Pelosi asked to use the restroom. Paul Pelosi was just in his nightshirt. At the time, there was a rumor that this guy, I think it was started by Dinesh D'Souza, or at least he perpetuated it. It went viral on Twitter, that the assailant was in only his underwear. That is not true. He was not only in his underwear. But uh came downstairs. Paul Pelosi was able to convince the suspect to could he use the restroom. He was able to get to his cell phone, call 911, and leave the line open. Okay, he left the line open, went back out to where the assailant was. The assailant had a weapon. He had a gun. I mean, not a gun, excuse me. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry, y'all. He didn't have a gun. He had a hammer. He had a hammer at that time. Um, the police ended up coming to the scene for a welfare check or whatever. And when they got there, they saw Paul Pelosi and David DePap in the hallway, both hands on the hammer. And that's when, according to the police, David DePap was able to hit Paul Pelosi in the skull a few times. Paul Pelosi was taken to the hospital where he suffered some skull fractures. He's going to have a long recovery. Nancy Pelosi said that it's going to be a long recovery, but he is doing better. He had emergency surgery. I believe that was on Friday. So, newest news is that Dave DePap was actually arraigned today in court, and he pled not guilty. He is facing federal and state charges of attempted murder, residential burglary, assault with a deadly weapon, elder abuse, false imprisonment of an elder, threats to a public official and their family, assault on an immediate family member of a federal official, and attempted kidnapping of a federal official. His arm was in a sling, so he was really, apparently he had to go to the hospital. I don't know if it was a result of him getting his ass beat by the police. I really don't know, but apparently he was in the hospital because they say he was in the hospital. He was immediately arraigned. So in the court filings, officials described the alleged assailant's plans as I'm going to say unaliving mission, but y'all know what that means. I'm hoping unaliving mission that involved further goals to attack other state and federal officials. Apparently, they were able to find out this information because he had a backpack with him that had a journal in it that chronicalized his what he wanted to do. Okay, so let's see. According to the court documents, Mr. DePap told San Francisco police that he broke into the Pelosi San Francisco home armed with a hammer and zip ties because he wanted to hold Nancy Pelosi hostage. But he encountered Mr. Pelosi, who managed to call 911. Da 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 da. They also stated that he came into the home. He had the zip ties. He had a couple of hammers on him, and he had some duct tape on him as well. They stated that he had a master plan, which was to start a rebellion. I don't know if that was the word that was used, and I'm trying to find it, the exact word that they used. Shuki. I can't remember the exact word that they used, but they said that he was trying to start some type of rebellion or some type of something by taking Nancy Pelosi into his into his taking her hostage or something. So according to the Washington Post, uh according to prosecutors, Paul Pelosi tried to defuse the situation and told 911 operator that he did not need the police, fire, or medical assistance, trying to be calm and discreet while also trying to help dispatch to understand the situation. Mr. Pelosi then asked for the Capitol Police because they usually at the house protecting his wife. The dispatcher told Paul Pelosi that he was calling the San Francisco police. Paul Pelosi said that he understood this. He said, this gentleman just came into my house and he wants to wait for my wife to come home. Paul Pelosi told the 911 operator, according to the court document. Paul Pelosi gave the operator his name and address. When the operator asked for his name, for the name of the man, of the assailant, DePappy allegedly responded, "My name is David." DePap allegedly told Paul Pelosi to tell the 911 operator that he was a friend of the Pelosi family, but Pelosi confirmed to the dispatcher that he did not know the man. When the 911 operator asked if Paul Pelosi was okay, he said, "No, he wants me to get the hell off the phone." San Francisco police officers responded to the home and blah blah blah. They encountered both of them. The filing also stated that the pappy told them in after he was arrested and when he was interrogated, he told them that he acted alone. He said he was sick of the insane fucking level of lies coming from Washington, D.C. And he came to Nancy Pelosi's house to have a little chat with Nancy. He said he didn't really want to hurt Paul Pelosi, but this was a unaliving mission. I am not going to stand here and do nothing, even if it costs me my life. I will go through him if I have to. After his arrest, DePappy allegedly admitted that he intended to enter the home to take Speaker Nancy Pelosi hostage, and if Speaker Nancy Pelosi lied to him, he intended to break her kneecaps. According to state prosecutors, he said he saw ring cameras everywhere, and he knew he would be caught on camera. According to the affidavit filed by the FBI agent, DePappy claimed that Nancy Pelosi was the leader of the pack of lies told by the Democratic Party, and that if he broke her kneecaps, she would then have to be wheeled into Congress, which would show other members of Congress there are consequences for their actions. DePapp also allegedly claimed that he wanted to use Nancy Pelosi to lure another individual, but he didn't indicate who that individual was. So in court today, DePappy was heavily guarded. I keep saying DePappy, but it's DePap. He was heavily guarded, and he had a public defender there, and that public defender said that they plan to look at his mental capacity, but he hasn't even seen a police report at this point. So he said that his client has been in the hospital uh has been in the hospital up until Tuesday, and then he was located to the San Francisco jail where he's being held, and he hasn't had a chance to speak with him as of late. Even though he said that he will undergo a mental health evaluation, he declined to say whether the hold was related to mental health issues. So that is the latest on the attack on Paul Pelosi. And I am sending healing vibes and positive vibes out to them at this time. And I'm hoping that he has a speedy recovery. Also, again, I'm going to send my condolences out to the family of Takeoff, as well as the friends and loved ones and everyone that was there. When you have a situation that occurs like that, everyone is affected, and it isn't just the victim. Everyone around is affected, and it's just so very sad. And I'm hoping that they find the person that did this. That is a deeper conversation that I feel like in the Black community we need to have a lot of. Speaking about black on black. I'm not gonna say black on black crime, but black men being killed, also black women. You know what I mean? These situations with these rappers, it seems like every other month or every other week we having a rapper being killed. I believe there was just one last week that was murdered. It's just so very sad. And I'm always going to go back to what I've heard Boosie say in the past. Although a lot of people don't like Boosie, and I'll say, when he said that stuff that about rappers being killed in their home states, you know what I'm saying, their own neighborhoods for now for Takeoff, it wasn't that sort of situation, but a lot of times it is when they go back home to their old neighborhoods and try to hang around. That's what happened to Nip. You know what I'm saying? That's typically what we see. So it's just so very sad. It's just so very sad. So players, I really want to know what y'all think about this. Let's look at a few of y'all comments and then I'm gonna get out of here. So we're gonna go back to Paul Pelosi here really quickly. Come on here to get the facts. I'm glad you're here, Laverne. I don't know if you're still here. Let's see. Tonita said they threw the book in. I agree with that. Some people have gone too far that you could show them facts 100 times over and it wouldn't make sense. I'm going to agree with that sentiment. He can rebel behind bars. I agree with that. People are losing their minds. The audacity, Crystal says. Deborah says he will never see the light of day again. I'm 100% agree. Artist said I removed some many comments of my own. Sounds like a rantings of a lunatic. I agree. Child, he was unhinged, that's for sure. And he done ruined his life. Also, I forgot to tell y'all too, there was one other thing I wanted to add about the Pap. He's from Canada and he's been here since 2000, but his visa done ran out. So that's one thing that the radical right is running with, trying to say he was an illegal alien. Basically trying to act like he was from Mexico or something like that. But that's not the case. He had a visa and he just remained after the visa expired. That's part of the problem. Many people are being told that they do have the power and the obligation, otherwise they're not patriotic. Freaking ding dongs. I agree. Now he's pleading not guilty. He knows he's guilty. He told them what he was going to do to Nancy Pelosi. Absolutely. Crystal says people are so desensitized to death. It's alarming. I agree. So many people were posting that terrible video of Takeoff this morning, and I had to clutch my invisible pearls. I'm going to tell you that. Artist says, yep, like 45 and Brooks. So many. What's the words I'm looking for? Absolutely. Ambrika, hey babe, I don't know if you've been in here this whole time. Can someone please unblock Laverne? I accidentally blocked her. I can unblock her when I get off, but I can't do it while I'm on because I'm using a streaming service. Damn, I'll unblock her when I get off. Okay. I don't know. Let me see what I don't know if I can, but I will try. Okay. I think the not guilty thing is just an initial first response. It's always, Andrea. That's one thing, I'm a certified paralegal. That's one thing that always gets me whenever we have a situation where a person pleads not guilty when they first get in court. It's standard. You will hardly ever see somebody come to a very first court appearance and they plead guilty. It rarely happens. And in cases that it does happen, it's because this person has already arranged to go to the police station, be arrested, be arraigned, and they've already worked out a plea deal. That is pretty standard for people to plead not guilty. It 9 times out of 10. I mean, they actually instruct you to plead not guilty on that first deal, on that first arraignment. They always instruct you to plead not guilty, so that way it gives your attorney an opportunity to get the discovery. I mean, really, they have no evidence that the defense doesn't have a defense for you, nothing. So they always advise you to plead not guilty. It's really standard. D, I'm wondering if you have an opinion on Brooks. Which Brooks? Who's that artist? Let me know who that is. I don't know what that is. I hardly ever miss a show. Ember, oh, that's so sweet. Good question. Yeah, absolutely. So tell me what you mean by that, artist, and then I'm gonna get on out of here because I promised myself I was only gonna be here for 30 minutes. I love y'all so much, but I just want to talk about those two things. And it's so easy for me to come here now since my audio issues are not, since I sound, decent. I'm just upset about this audio delay. I don't know what's going on with that, but Double D will figure it out, honey. She definitely will. Let's see. Breaking news. A federal judge in Arizona has barred an election monitoring group from its activity. Oh, it's about time. Daryl Brooks. Oh, child player. Oh, Lord, not Daryl Brooks, honey. I talked about that. I made a video about that artist. You must didn't see it. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Now, that case, believe it or not, I followed it the whole time. I just didn't report on it, but I followed it the whole time. The moment that I found out that he was going to that he was going to act as his own attorney, I'm not even going to say this guy has mental health issues. I'm just going to say that he's a buffoon. He's a buffoon. It's embarrassing what he's doing up there in Waukesha. For him to plead not guilty, I mean that's his right. He has a right to a trial. But for him to defend himself and then the shenanigans that he was pulling up there and up there in Waukesha. I think it was absolutely ridiculous. It was absurd. He continued his shenanigans yesterday in court. He's going to be sentenced, I believe it's on November 15th, and he wanted the judge to put this off as far as possible, as long as possible. The judge would not put it off any longer. She's going to be on vacation, which God damn it, she deserves it. And then also she has a lot of other trials that are going to be going to court. So she's doing it on November 15th. There's no reason to prolong the inevitable. He claims he's going to have 18 to 20 people speak on his behalf. I don't believe that. I don't believe that he's going to have 18 to 20 people speak on his behalf. And then, you know what the judge did? The judge said, okay, well, since you say they may be coming in from out of town or whatever the case may be, well, child, they can come on in here and I can let them get into the Zoom. So that way we don't have to worry about that. I think he acted a complete ass, but when you basically about to spend the rest of your life in jail and you know it, and only thing you got to do is try to prolong things or try to find a reason for an appeal. I mean, that's what I feel like he's trying to do. But that judge was good because it couldn't have been me because I would have cussed his ass out of many days when he was sitting there staring at her like he was crazy. Oh, child, no, I wouldn't have been able to. I wouldn't have been able to I wouldn't have been able to handle that. I don't know if I would have been able to come back in the courtroom. I don't know if y'all seen that, but it was a hot boo boo shitty mess. All right, players. But I'm gonna let's see. This mother says that I did hear his mother say that, Johnny. I actually watched that video. In fact, I may have it so we can listen to it if anybody else wants to know what his mother thinks about his behavior and what she thinks about him. Um, I actually have that because I was gonna make a video about it, and then I decided that I would save it until I make the video after he is sentenced. Let me see if I can find that because I know I took that screen recording, honey. I sure did because y'all know me. I stay on top of everything. Okay, we'll listen to it real quick, y'all. Listen to a little bit of it.
Mental illness and understand people who are mentally ill.
So the truth finally comes out.
Hold on, y'all.
We need you to and understand people. Sounds like the people need to understand mental illness and understand people who are mentally ill are hurting. They're trapped. And a lot of them don't know the way I will show compassion. The families who have loved ones that are suffering from mental illness, a lot of them are ashamed to even talk about it or to say that he's crazy and don't want to have anything to do with them. But you need to, those people need help more than anything. Seek out treatment where there is. Speak up for them. Be an advocate for them. And then when you see people out in the street, you see them acting, and you just laugh at them joking, and you turn away. You know, stop and say a prayer, because I sent Daryl early on a poem written by Maya Angelou called "I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings," and I learned that poem in the 7th grade for Black History Month, and I never thought about that poem again. And the Lord brought it to my memory. And I remember back when I was a child, my grandma had a pet parakeet named Jerry. And I remember that so vividly. She would walk to the cage and Jerry would sing. He had a beautiful singing voice. And we all thought Jerry was happy because he would sing and twerk, and his cage was right in front of the window where he can look out in the backyard. And we thought, but then when Lord brought that point to me, I pulled it up again and I read it again. And I realized that bird wasn't singing because it was happy. That bird was singing because he wanted to be out of that cage and be free. And I told Daryl, I said, you're this caged bird. Mental illness has clipped your wings and those prison bars is going to be your cage. And no one's going to hear you singing. It's just going to fall on deaf ears. But I told him that he keeps singing till someone hears him. Hopefully, this will bring awareness to mental illness via our senators and our governors and elected officials, court, police. And when these people come before the penal system, instead of locking them up, say, hey, what can we do to help this person become mentally well?
So she says that he has a mental illness. I don't know if Daryl was mentally, if he was evaluated to see if he was competent to stand trial. I don't know. I can't speak to that. I look, that's such a hard thing because if we're going to, and I'm gonna keep it a stack for everybody now. Y'all might not like me for this comment, but Nicholas Cruz was just able to get life in prison without the possibility of parole because they say he has a mental illness. Basically, that was the mitigating factors. That was the biggest mitigating factor in that case. And you look at the Darrell Brooks situation, Darrell Brooks trial and what went on. Can we use mental illness as an excuse for bad behavior? I guess that's the question that I would pose in this regard. Can we? He was evaluated. Okay. Can we use mental illness as an excuse for bad behavior? I don't think that we can. You know what I'm saying? Because if someone was to take out my family member and they try to say, oh, well, they was mentally ill, I don't know if I'm gonna be willing to hear that. You know what I'm saying? So there do need to be, someone put in the comments earlier that there needs to be more discussions about mental health, especially in the Black community. I'm going to have to agree with that 100%, that there do need to be discussions, but I think there needs to be a wide range of discussions. You know what I'm saying? Like how to get people help and how to get them to stick to that help, and also recognizing when there may be a mental illness and making those services available, for people who need them. So there's a lot of nuances when it comes down to that. Let me see what Andrea says. Mental illness is not an excuse, but we have to do better at recognizing and treating it. I absolutely agree with that 100%. I agree with that. And on that note, with my girl Andrea leading us off, I'm gonna come back on this screen here so y'all can see my face, but I'm probably gonna have a delayed audio charger to my equipment and not my heart. Y'all know I bought a new mic and everything. I spent a lot of money on this damn mic. That's the reason why I sound so good. However, I got a delay in my StreamYard. Well, I don't know what the hell going on. Y'all know Double D. She can't get her life together. I even got a new camera up there. You see my new camera? I'm way up there. See that? And it's just, things just ain't going right for old Double D. I'm struggling, y'all, with my psyche or something that's just not right. I'm just upset about everything, and I'm upset about this equipment because I paid good money and I can't figure it out. But either way, I'm gonna make it do what it do when I need to make it do what it do. You dig? But I really appreciate y'all for being here with me tonight. I really, really freaking love you guys. Thank you for being here, Andrea. Thank y'all so much for joining me. I hope y'all really enjoyed this episode. If you're watching the playback, make sure you thumbs up, love that playback. Leave me some comments, baby, because I love to see it. And I will see y'all tomorrow, because y'all know tomorrow is the Real Tea with Double D. I'll be here between 10 and 10:30. Y'all know how I do. So I'll be here tomorrow with an hour episode. Y'all kept me way longer than what I was intending, but that's okay because I love y'all anyway. Y'all have a good night. Peace.